Gospel lesson for Palm Sunday is from Mark 11, verses 1 through 11. When they were approaching Jerusalem at Bethsage and Bethany, near the Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the village ahead of you, and immediately as you enter it, you will find tied there a colt that has never been ridden. Untie it and bring it. If anyone says to you, 'Why are you doing this?' just say this, 'The Lord needs it and will send it back here immediately.'" They went away and found a colt tied near a door, outside in the street. As they were untying it, some of the bystanders said to them, "What are you doing untying the colt?" They told them what Jesus had said, and they allowed them to take it. Then they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. Many people spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread leafy branches that they had cut in the fields. Then those who went ahead and those who followed were shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our ancestor David. Hosanna in the highest." Then he entered Jerusalem and went into the temple. And when he had looked around at everything, as it was already late, he went on to Bethany with the 12. The reading of the gospel, the congregation may be seated. I love some of these pictures from the World War II victory. These are liberation celebrations. You can see victory across the front, celebration in the streets. This next one, of course, is a famous one of the kiss. You can see the joy. In a Bible study this week, somebody who had been in the Navy said, "Notice it's a sailor that's kissing the girl." And this next one is the liberation of Paris in August of 1944. I love this picture. And that woman in the front at the bottom of the picture. You can see the joy on her face. I love the way that we start our Palm Sunday worship with our kids or our choir that processes in waving palm branches. And we kind of lightly sing "All glory, laud, and honor." And it's an appropriate way, of course, to start Palm Sunday. But I think these liberation celebrations of military victory actually paint the picture a little bit better of what it would have been like with Jesus and his disciples entering the city of Jerusalem. The celebration that people were feeling, the joy that people were feeling, I think is maybe captured a little bit better in this picture than on our typical procession in, although, of course, it's always a beautiful way to start our Palm Sunday worship. To commemorate Jesus entering Jerusalem and the beginning of Holy Week, we wave palm branches and we celebrate on this Sunday that we call Palm Sunday. So what's happening in this text? What is Palm Sunday all about? The palms, the king, and the colt. Well, first of all, the palms. All four accounts of the gospel include this story of the triumphal entry of Jesus and his disciples into Jerusalem. Today's text from Mark says that they cut leafy branches from the field. In Matthew's account, it says that they used branches from trees. In John's account of this, we get the name of Palm Sunday because John says that they used palm branches to welcome Jesus into Jerusalem. Luke actually doesn't say anything at all about branches or leaves being used in this triumphal entry. So why palms? Why were people waving palm branches? Well, of course, they were doing this in celebration and praise, but there's actually a little bit more history to this. Historically, the waving of palm branches signaled military victory. This text is about praise, adoration, and celebration. But the deeper meaning includes this association to military victory. In today's text, people shout, "Hosanna, blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord." This word, Hosanna, is a Hebrew word that literally means save. As people are shouting, Hosanna, they are praising Christ, but they're also crying for help. The people are looking to Jesus for something more. They're looking for hope. They're looking for a victory. A military victory in the conquest of the enemy. And again, connecting this scene with military association, the people call Jesus King. Today's text, the people yelled, "Blessed is the one coming in the kingdom of the ancestor David." In Luke, the people yell, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord." And in John, the people shout, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King of Israel." The people see Jesus as a king. Well, it got me thinking, what are the characteristics of a king? Well, the characteristics of a king are, a king will never be voted into power. His power is inherent from birth. We don't do anything to make him king. We simply acknowledge that he is king. A king is never voted into power. A king cannot be voted out of power. He was the king before the world began, and he'll be the king when the world passes away. A king's authority is absolute. A king's word is law. A king personally owns everything in his domain. A king embodies the government of his kingdom. A king's presence is the presence of his authority. A king's name is the essence of his authority. Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. And in this sense, Jesus is king, but not the king the people were expecting. You would expect a king to arrive on a noble steed, a horse, a chariot, a sweet ride, but not Jesus. He arrives on the colt of a donkey, exemplifying humility, humbleness, and simplicity. A colt having never been ridden, exemplifying the purity and innocence of Christ. So Jesus and the disciples enter Jerusalem. The people cheer and celebrate, and this is interesting. Where does Jesus go? Jesus goes to the temple. In verse 11, then he entered Jerusalem and went into the temple. And when he had looked around at everything, as it was already late, he went to Bethany with the 12. Now there's a couple of things that we learn from this verse. The first thing is that Jesus looked around at everything. What this is saying is that Jesus enters this situation. He enters the city. He enters this week with eyes wide open. Jesus is not entering into his death blindly. Jesus knows what he's doing. He knows what he's facing. And he continues willingly. The second thing that we learn from this verse is that as Jesus is entering the battle of mankind, as he's entering the battle of humans, he seeks the presence of God. What a wonderful model. This week, we enter into the battle of humans. This week starts in celebration. It ends in crucifixion. The week starts with praise. It ends with people shouting, "Crucify." From celebration of Palm Sunday Jesus and the disciples spend the next few days between Bethany, this little village where they were staying, and Jerusalem. On Thursday, Jesus serves his disciples the Last Supper. He washes the disciples' feet and gives the commandment to love one another. On Friday, Jesus is arrested, tried, and crucified. This week, we will experience the struggle of this world. I love these old pictures of World War II victory celebrations or liberation parades. But the difference between a military victory celebration and Palm Sunday is that in military celebration, the war is over. The victory is won. On Palm Sunday, the battle has just begun. The people are looking for a victory, and they turn to Jesus. They are looking for a conquest, the defeat of the enemy. They will receive a conquest, but the conquest will be a conquest of love. And the lesson will be to love the enemy. And the victory will be the victory of the cross. The victory of life over death. But like all victories, it comes with a cost. This week we will experience the extremes of highs and lows. We, like Jesus, as we enter into the brokenness of this world, as we engage the struggle, problems, the pain, life and death, sickness, cancer, injury, grief, or anything else that you're facing, may we enter into it with eyes wide open, seeking the presence of God. To God be the glory, now and forever.